One of the very popular search for items on hearingdirect.com is big button phones, and I thought it might be helpful to display a range of the big button phones, different types of big button phones that we have here at Hearing Direct. For the purposes of this, I've brought an example of a desk phone which is designed to be plugged into the mains power socket and the telephone socket in the home. A cordless phone again, which needs plugging into the mains and into its own telephone socket, and a mobile telephone, big button mobile phone. Looking at them individually, clearly big button phones need to be big buttoned, and there's no question the biggest of them all will be this phone here. This happens to be the G-Mark Amplipower 50 phone. It has extremely large buttons on a dark background with a very light white coloured number, which makes it extremely easy to see the digits on here. Many of the other buttons on here too are designed for use by those with perhaps slightly limited dexterity or limited vision. And to be fair, this is also one of the loudest phones in the market, so often as you will find that the need for big buttons in terms of visual requirements often is linked with the need for slightly louder volume phones. And if that's the case, this phone certainly fits the bill. It's designed to do both. As I said, there are some larger buttons than you would find traditionally for the other aspects of the phone, and some easy to use sliders as well, which would be helpful under the circumstances. Moving on to the cordless phone here, you can see that some of the same features exist. The buttons here are much larger than you would normally expect on a standard cordless phone, and again they're a dark coloured button with light white coloured numbers. And some of the other buttons in terms of the call answering and call ending buttons here are also much larger than you would expect on a standard phone. Not a lot more to say particularly with regards to the features of this cordless phone, other than to say that on the side there is a volume control up and down, which is again slightly larger than you would expect. And a number of other features available through this memory feature here, which is displayed in this screen here, and the features and the numbers on this screen here are much larger and can be set to a much larger font than you would again expect to see on a standard cordless phone. Also carries a good degree of amplification or volume, so if not just big buttons are required but some degree of hearing help is also required, then this represents a good phone for that particular or those particular issues. And then finally, just looking at a mobile phone, a very typical big button mobile phone from within the range at Hearing Direct. Again, you can see this common theme throughout, which is a dark background with white numbers, which are unquestionably the easiest to see and the easiest to navigate. You'll also find that these buttons are raised so that they're easier to select between, rather than all finishing very flush. And you'll also notice, you may not be able to see on this image here, but the number 5, much like a lot of the phones, has a little raised area in the middle of it, which is easy to then locate the number 5 in the center of the phone for use. Again, raised buttons here for the call answering and call ending, and much the same as is the case with this cordless phone up here. This mobile phone has a much larger display screen than you would expect on a non-touch screen type of phone, and the font size on this is much bigger again than you would see on a standard mobile phone. So all in all, there's a good range here of big button phones, be it the desk phone for the home, the cordless phone for the home, or the mobile phone for when you're out and about. But if you would like some more advice on the big button phone range at Hearing Direct, then do give us a call on 0800 032 1301 anytime during the working week. We are here 9 till 5. Or if we're outside of working hours, at the weekends or evenings, you can email us at customerservices@hearingdirect.com, and we normally get back to you within 24 hours. And as I said, do get in touch. We've got a great team here that can provide a lot of detailed advice on big button phones.